What are you afraid of?
Oh, we're experiencing layers of framing. Did you see that?
Relax.
Framed through her hands and then framed
This
through
is
the
just a
picture.
dreamscape.
Oh, the music is
How else will you find
glorious.
the answer?
On my Honkai Star Rail cinematic journey, today we are finally covering Black Swan trailer, Lullaby, Honkai Star Rail. If you've been enjoying our time together, please consider watching some of the other content that we've covered on this channel, including our Honkai Star Rail animated shorts. Hoyoverse lore masters, join me in battle once again. Ooh, really cool colors here. The purple has an eerie feeling. The slow walking versus the running is quite a contrast. Teaching us a lot about character already. Ooh. I love it.
What are you afraid of?
Oh, we're experiencing layers of framing. Did you see that?
Relax.
Framed through her hands and then framed
This
through
is
the
just
picture.
a dreamscape.
It's a really cool cinematic choice.
Life is a winding labyrinth
Yeah, there's layers, you see?
with memories.
It's like she's almost
soul companions.
all-knowing. There's layers to her consciousness. There's layers to her knowledge.
People believe they're facing the present and the
Wow.
future, yet fail to realize we're all
Really
moving
incredibly
toward
done.
the past. Memories are different.
The music. It feels very fantastical, the music, like we're on a whimsical
There's
journey.
more than one destiny to
And
choose.
she's talking about destiny, she's talking about fate, like she controls it, which is, I think,
The road
indicative of her
ahead
character.
is visible.
And the cards, too.
Open your eyes and face your fears.
Oh, the music is
How else will you find
glorious.
the answer?
I'm telling you, there's layers to the composition choices here,
There
framing
might
of the
be
subject. Wow. Beautiful kaleidoscope.
Or another price to pay.
Nice silhouette. Oh, and now we have a little bit of pink
But fear not.
and red.
Unless I erase them, you won't forget.
Ooh, and the picture has become a portrait of her. Very, very amazing. There's so much to talk about. I want to talk about this kind of multiple layers of framing, and I think it's just really, really smart how they did that. Very, very awesome. But like I said, if you're enjoying our time together, make sure to subscribe, hop in our Discord. We have a great Hoyoverse section in there. Let's move on here. So, fantastic work. There's this strangeness to the environment that they brought in here. The hallway feels unnatural. It seems like an endless hallway. It's a liminal space, as we call it. A lot of you may be fans of the Backrooms, Kane Pixel's work on YouTube. Liminal spaces, these kind of normal yet unfamiliar in a kind of a scary way, nostalgic but out of place, devoid of life, even though it's a normal place, in between something. It's a hallway. Where is it going? It's going nowhere, right? So it feels uncomfortable for that reason. And we have this framing of the character. When we first see her, she's walking casually. The other character is FPS frenetic running. It's a subjective lensing here. Camera is coming from this person's perspective. We feel scared. We feel urgent. And this contrast, she's walking. She's inevitable. You can't escape her. And that's what's so smart about this. The casual humming versus the... it's just a stark contrast in mood. And she enters the spotlight in that shot. It was really nice. A little bit of a Dutch angle there. And what was that? It's like a big dinosaur. Interesting shot. And then we go inside her eye. And then there she is. It's like she's everywhere. She's inside the eye. She's outside of the eye. She's behind her. She's ahead of her. It's like omnipotent. Now she saves her. Quote unquote. And then she's ahead of her again. She's behind her. She's everywhere. I love those kind of camera shifts as if she's trying to escape. You can't escape her. She's everywhere.
What are you afraid of?
I think that was the coolest transition for me, was the sort of multiple framing. And I think that really is the most important visual language that they're using on this. There's layers to her. And what a cool transition it was. We have this obvious, close-up shot here. Maybe like a 70 millimeter. And then we pull the camera back. We've actually switched to a different lens here, a little bit wider, as you can see, as the elongation, a little bit of foreshortening happening on her hands here, and then her figure into the past. But I love that she's coming out of the frame because of the presentation, because of her clothing. Everything tells you something in these choices. And she has a little bit of a traditional look, a little bit of a sort of like a fairy tale type look to her. She's coming out of a painting, right? Like she's something larger than life. She's something beyond, normal life. She's coming to life. She's coming out of this fairy tale. That's what I'm getting from this. I think it was a really cool choice. Garden of Recollection.
Relax.
Relax. Pushes her off a thing, right? Now, I love this part. She looks back up.
It's just a dreamscape.
And it has this sort of Kingdom Hearts feeling, and then we get this beat drop.
Life is a winding...
This brass just boom. It feels very epic, very adventurous, and I think a little bit scary. Let's see.
Life is a winding labyrinth.
Everything, there's that framing again. Now the main character here, this subject is being framed by the cards as a picture frame. It was her hands as a framing and everything. So interesting how they're playing with that. This is probably one of my favorite images. I love it. It's like everything is under her control. She's going to catch her, she's going to push her, and she's going to catch her. Interesting, right?
With memory.
Very curious about this character. I would love to hear the lore on this character, or I don't know if this is, the point of this character is the mystery, but if the lore masters know,
our soul companion.
let me know what's going on here, because I'm getting almost like a Kafka vibe in that she is, able to kind of, I don't know if influence is the word, but, kind of play with fate. Is she related to Kafka?
People believe they're facing the present.
Now, I love this section. There's a circular motion in the camera, and we have this flourish with the woodwinds. It's beautifully done.
People believe they're facing the present and the future, yet fail to realize we're all moving toward the...
Very circular in the music too. That little, it's awesome. So nice. Still falling, and there she's again. Now she's in the frame again, and we're looking through a secondary frame, which then looks into the open space where the character's falling. There's another frame behind it. In this again, kind of like, looks like a kind of magical tower, or like fantasy setting or cathedral or something. It has a classical feel to it. The music also denotes this feeling of maybe like a fantasy.
Memories are different.
There's a little harpsichord in there too. I'm like Baroque feeling.
There's more than one.
I love it. And there we are again. Now we're inside. She's like in a chair, and she's sitting on and in the painting, which is just so fun. I think that's a fantastic shot. And that is another subjective shot. It's like FPS. Love it.
There's more than one destiny to choose from.
More than one destiny, you say? The question is, what is she doing with the character? Why is she toying with it like this? Or does the character not even aware of that, and it's just kind of behind the scenes?
The road ahead is visible.
That was one of the favorite shots too for me. She's sitting on nothing. She can just float on nothing. The chair is over here. She's supposed to be sitting in that, but she's sitting over here, right? It's just like she kind of can play with all the rules. Really
Open
satisfying way.
And face your fears.
And then this is where you get this first stab of this like harsher, more threatening red, and this kind of like very rich pink and red.
How else
beautiful
will you
music.
find the answer?
Yeah.
There might be death.
This kaleidoscope feeling. Again, it's the feeling of looking in through a framing, through a kaleidoscope, maybe into another world.
Or another price to pay.
And I love this. What a cool transition. As we go, you start to see the light. You realize it's actually cracks, but it's so subtle. It almost just looks like, there's maybe some light coming up. Maybe it's the sun coming up. No, it's her shattering this pristine stained glass window. And there's these like horrific, monster arms coming in and grabbing and stuff. Terrifying. Terrifying imagery. And this is what I love. We get this payoff after the kind of breadcrumb trail, visually speaking. Like something is off about this character. There's a looming doom about this character. Here we go.
But fear not.
Terrifying.
Unless I erase them, you won't forget.
And what a cool ending. I love how the photos, seem to have just fallen perfectly in place to create the portrait of her, which to say like, oh, that's impossible, but not for her. That's the thing, right? So I think they all could be individual photos that were, mixed up, and they just fell perfectly because she has that level of influence. Really kind of cool. And I like that the character, we don't really know what her allegiance is, out of context for me at least. We don't really know what her allegiance is. We don't really know what her kind of like justice system is, because with that sort of control, what are you influencing in the world? So I like there's a little bit of ambiguity. We see that she's very dangerous at the end. She can control very extremely strong things and make them happen with these arms. But for me, watching it out of context, unless there's more material to watch, this is all we know. So I would love to hear if you guys know some more about the character. I still want to try Star Rail on, I think it finally came to PS5, or it's coming to PS5. Can you guys remind me? Sorry, I've been busy playing a lot of different games on stream. It's been super fun. But I would love to try it sometime, because this is the game that's turn-based, I believe. And I'd be curious to try it out as compared to the other ones. And it's interesting watching it with the cards. I'm like, man, sort of card play like that is so good for turn-based, right? Because you can choose, okay, let's choose our abilities. Let's choose this card and play that. So obviously looks like a playable character. Black Swan, very awesome. Definitely one of my favorite stylistically. And I think they chose a really strong aesthetic with this and leaned into it in all the right ways. All the right influences were there. But it had a lot of unique images as well. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to sub, hop in Discord, click that join button, become a Dragoon if you want to choose videos for me to break down like this. Have a good day, guys.